Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mangoes Not Lemons. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we've got a special guest. We're going to talk, a hot topic in the world today is all about technology. So we've got a guest today that has a very extensive background and career in technology. So I'd like to welcome Devi Sangoju with us today. So Devi, thanks for coming in, hanging out with us a little bit.
Thanks, David.
And
Thanks. Yeah.
we're here to talk about a career in technology.
Your introduction says it was a hot topic, so yes, it's hot. I think it's going to stay hot for a little bit. so,
Yes.
so tech is here to stay, and I'm excited to talk. So good to meet you, David.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in and sitting down with us.
Yeah.
So from an education perspective, there's this ever-going debate of how much schooling do I need, certifications do I need, maybe a degree versus certifications, and or practical job experience to advance in tech, to get a tech job. I know this is totally opinion,
Yeah.
but what's your opinion on education for a tech career?
First, let's just talk general education, right? So everybody needs some sort of general education. Whether it's schooling, college, some sort of bachelor's, certification. Always make sure you got some sort of education. But when you look at education in the field of tech, it's a little different. Okay,
It's a little confusing.
Yeah. So you just talk about any of the star walls in the tech industry, pioneers. Starting from big tech company owners like Bill Gates to Steve Jobs. If you look at their background, these guys started from car garages, garages in their home. They never went to school, or they got dropped off school. So, but that was a different world then. Okay, yeah. It was a revolutionary thing. So when you're focused on something and you want to achieve something, you had avenues to get there at that time. Yeah. But now there is so much competition. Okay, so I would say education at any level is good for you. Forget about tech industry in general. But if you really want to get into tech industry, on top of whatever the education you achieve, you need to make sure you understand how you want to evolve in this industry. So go through certification. So there's many different things in tech, right? When people talk about tech, they think it's coding, sitting on a computer and doing development, like writing, like Greek and Latin type of stuff.
I think that's what most people think. How many different languages? 20 different languages out there for developers or programmers?
There's hundreds. Yeah.
in tech.
Yeah. So that's exactly the point, right? So a lot of people, when they think about tech and how to get into tech, they talk software development, like coding, But tech is much, much, much beyond that. Tech is not just sitting on a computer and doing coding. That's one.
It starts there. Maybe
yeah, that's one
piece.
portion. That's for you to really understand how tech works, what is in the back end of the tech. Okay, but tech is everywhere. Tech is in our daily lives. Tech is in our professional lives. Tech is everywhere. You talk aerospace to defense to cell phone. So yes, if you go back 10 years or 20 years, I would say, probably people like us or all of us in today's generation, when we were in schooling 20 years ago, we can proudly now say we belong to the tech revolution, right? It's literally the tech revolution. The world before 2000s and the world after 2000s, you can't just think, how it was before, how it was now,
Back
I just
in
give
the
you
dot-com era, pre-2000.
Now that you talk, I have a very good example from this morning, right? Back in days, when the summer starts, I used to go back to my sprinkler system, the station that's out there in my garage.
Yeah.
I turn it on, I set the timers, I make it run, and if I need to go change, I have to go back after a few months, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
But today, what everyone's doing, they're operating things on their phone.
It just syncs to your phone.
Exactly. So that's technology. But there's nothing about coding there. It's just how you can use technology in your day-to-day lives. Okay. So going back to your question is, I think I'll give you my experience, right? So my background is engineering. So I did my engineering, and when I was doing my master's in engineering back in Chicago, I got introduced to the real tech world at that time. Okay. So we were trying to build prototypes of, like hydraulic power plants, steam engines and things like that.
So automating machinery.
Exactly. In the past, so technology was always there, but in different kinds. The mankind has evolved with technology over the time, but technology had a different space back then. But today, everything is right in front of your eyes. You can see things happening, right? So that's when I got introduced into technology. Okay, how I can read a hydraulic turbine and what kind of energy that it's consuming and what it is releasing, pressures, everything from a computer. In the past, we used to have those machines tied to them. We used to read through monitors,
Gauges.
gauges, but we were reading through a software, right? And this is all automation, you know. This is not a really power plant that we set up there and reading it. No, we created a prototype and we are putting numbers into the software and it will give us different results, right?
Yeah.
So that was my entry level into tech, and that's when I got fascinated, right? Then obviously coming from an engineering background, you know, being in my early 20s, you know, you're fascinated about cars, you know, like obviously, right? So then, you know, we could build all these beautiful things, you know, robotics and things like that, you know. So, but I never thought I would get into technology. My goal was doing engineering. And when I was doing my engineering, my goal was like, you know, I'm going to build these fast cars, or, you know, I'm going to build this airplane.
More on the design side.
Yeah, design side. That was engineering to me. But then I never thought I want to get into software or technology side, right? But when I got introduced to that, for some reason, my mind just switched, you know. So, but that was my introduction to it. So I would say for all these guys.
So you didn't go to school to
For
be in the
technology.
tech field.
Nope.
You went to school because you like engineering, how things are
Exactly.
built, how things are designed, and it steered you into tech.
Exactly. So that's exactly that's the thing, right? So that pivotal point where a lot of people who want to get into tech industry, you need to have some sort of introduction into what is tech, right? And that's when you decide which way you want to go, because tech is everywhere. You know, what type of tech you want to go, okay? If you talk about latest tech like artificial intelligence, it's been a huge topic today, right?
Yes, it is.
Machine learning, quantum computing, you know, self-driving cars, robotics, blockchain, cryptocurrency, everything is tech, right? So we see a lot of these youngsters these days talking a lot about crypto and, you know, AI, machine learning. Yes, because it's a hot topic out there. But is that the only thing? No, there's more things, right?
Tech is hard to define. Tech is
Exactly.
really broad.
Yeah, and tech is not development or coding and sitting on a software. Tech is everything. So basic tech is my understanding of tech, and, you know, my layman terms. If somebody asks me, hey, what is tech? Tech is everywhere. Tech is not tech. Tech is whatever you do today, technology will help you advance, make it easy, user friendly, automate. That's where tech comes into play. Tech is not as such a full blown, you know, path. Tech is an enabler for you to do things differently using technology. That's what tech is about.
Fair. So a lot of people nowadays, they have this fear, right? So the working class, all the people that are going to work on a daily basis. You mentioned AI, you mentioned automation in manufacturing and production. There's a fear around tech putting people out of jobs, but I want to challenge that a little bit. What are your thoughts between tech putting people out of jobs versus tech making jobs more safe, making the product more consistent, making the quality higher, making AI driving cars safer, less likely to get in an accident? So what are your thoughts on, you know, the fear of people are afraid of technology, but at the same time, tech really does stand to make life better?
Exactly.
Is that a fair way to say
That's
it?
absolutely fair way to say it. So I would say, I use that word again. Technology is an enabler to do things kind of in a different fashion.
Okay.
Technology will help the workforce make better decisions, work in a smarter way down the line. But technology is not here to eliminate humans from doing their jobs. No.
Right.
Technology will let you do your job, but in a different fashion. Okay? Maybe in a much safer way, much smarter way.
Faster.
You know, give you all the tool sets, faster, eliminate all those redundant things that you do on a day-to-day basis, you know. That's where automation will come into play, right? So technology is here to stay. Technology will help you do your job in a better fashion or better way, but technology is not here to eliminate jobs. There's a lot of this talk, you know, in the world that technology is going to eliminate jobs, people won't have jobs anymore. That's not true, you know. Right. When technology was introduced into the banking sector, everybody thought no one will have a job in the banking sector or, you know, in other sectors.
Right.
There are banks still there. There are people working in the banks, you know, but it will give them a new way of how you do traditional banking, right? Now you're talking about, you know, exchanging digital currencies, transfer of money. You just replaced paper money with digital money, but
Yep.
paper money never gets out of the world. Paper money will still be there, but things move in a different way. So I would, echo you. Technology is not here to eliminate people from jobs. Technology is here to give you resources to do job in a smarter way using technology.
Yeah, we're seeing on the recruiting side, with the HR Mango side, we do a lot of recruiting on the manufacturing and production floors for quite a number of companies. And we're actually finding it harder and harder to get people to work in those jobs. And we're having more and more conversations with them, with those manufacturing plants to automate where they can.
Yeah.
Because the available workforce for entry-level manufacturing production, food production jobs, medical production jobs, seems to be getting tighter and tighter. And without automation, we might start running into some pretty severe problems with manufacturing.
Exactly. So every industry has to evolve with technology.
Yes.
And in heavy industrial side, automation is a key role to play, right? So you're right. Traditional jobs probably will start to go away. I mean, I say go away,
They're
not
harder to
completely.
fill.
Yeah, you can't eliminate the traditional job, but what you can do is you make traditional job look a little different with automation, with new technology in place, right?
Yes.
So we still need people to manufacture goods, right? We still need people to do, like mining. We still need pilots to drive airplanes, We're talking about self-driving cars. It's very fascinating to know, but will that be a reality anytime sooner? Maybe, but would that replace all the drivers in the world? I don't think so.
No.
People will still drive cars, People enjoy it because that's one of your things that you like to do on a daily basis is, I want my hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I'm against robotic cars, self-driving cars. It's a technology that's there. It will probably replace certain things like, taxis, robot taxis will come into play, those kind of
Yes.
things. But it's not going to stop people from driving cars. So don't look at it such a way that, okay, now that self-driving cars are coming, nobody's going to drive the car. No, that's not going to happen. People will still drive
People
cars.
just they blow it out of proportion when they hear the concept.
Exactly.
Well, I totally agree with you. I think in today's day and age, technology is this huge spectrum and growing in all facets of industry, clerical, industrial, in our personal lives. It's popping up everywhere. So I really appreciate you coming in today and talking a little tech with us. And I wish we could have gotten a little more into maybe specialized certifications. Maybe we can get into that a little bit later. But I appreciate you coming in today. Everybody, tech careers are everywhere. Don't be hesitant. The technology is growing so quick nowadays that there are opportunities everywhere in lots of different fields for you to really embrace and enjoy a good, successful career in technology. So thanks for listening today and have a great day. We'll catch you next time.